Welcome back, everybody, to the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage YouTube channel. I wanted to touch on something right quick today. I am moving forward with the rehabilitation, the waking up of the white brand model 568. And when I got this machine, and I'd gotten it home, I think I even noticed it when I picked it up. There was the remains of a needle shaft here. And when I say remains, I mean not a full needle. And when I see that, that is usually a clear indication that a needle has broken. Now, any of you who sew are probably not strangers to a broken needle. It can happen. It can happen for different reasons. It could be that someone had an old needle that had become dull or weakened. Maybe they went through fabric that was just too dense. That can happen. I can't blame the white. The whites from this period are very strong sewing machines. I don't think the machine itself, was too weak. Now, one thing to note here, when you see this, you can also have problems with what is going on underneath. Now, I have removed the, you look here, you'll see I've taken off the needle plate and the bobbin plate. They're all one piece on this machine. I'm going to tilt this back. Let me come back out. We'll pan back out again. I'm going to tilt the machine up, and of course I have it resting on a nice, I have a blanket and a towel because I want this machine to stay put. I don't want it to go flying. And a little bit of foil there that's come down. So, one of the things you always want to do, let's say you have a needle that breaks, and you might see a piece of the needle that is still in the needle bar, as we can see here, right there, or you might have a piece of needle that fell on the top of the machine, or it's stuck in your fabric. Regardless, do not assume that you have gotten it all, because one of the things you have to be really careful of or mindful of is when you have a needle break, you don't know initially how many pieces of your needle have come apart. You don't know how many pieces are lying around. And that's really important to know, because a needle can break if someone is not paying attention. Let's say you have wound a bobbin. I haven't yet, but let's say you've wound a new bobbin and you've put your bobbin case in, or you thought you did, or maybe you took something out, like you took your race cover off, and then behind here, of course, is the hook. So, the race cover is here, the hook is here. But what if you didn't seat it quite right, and you thought you did, but things are not aligned properly? When you go to put a bobbin case back in, or your hook in, always it's a really good idea, before you start hitting the juice on the machine and going full tilt with sewing, I would suggest this. Now your machine will be upright. Obviously, it doesn't have to be sitting back like this unless you want to look at it that way. But I am turning. You can't see me, but I've got my hand on the hand wheel. I'm just gently turning it with my hand, very slowly. You want to listen. If there's anything that is in the wrong place or is not seated properly, you'll feel it. Very often, something will either make a noise or it'll give you resistance. I'm not getting any, right? So I know that my hook is happy. I've got the hook in there. This can also happen if your bobbin case is not quite seated properly. What happens is, sometimes we get in a hurry when we're doing things. You're sewing, you're trying to get done. If you put things back together a little faster, or you're not giving your full attention to it, you can actually get everything sort of together, but maybe things are not quite lined up. Now, sometimes it simply won't turn for you at all. The hand wheel, it just won't move. But sometimes it can move, and if there's a burr on your hook, some machines are more vulnerable to getting burrs on them. A burr is basically a place where your hook has hit something and has basically been damaged. but sometimes it's just because things are not lined up properly, but your needle is, and your needle is wanting to come down where it was designed to, but you don't have everything lined up. And that can happen. And as the needle bar comes down, your needle will hit something and it can literally shatter, usually in two pieces, but sometimes more than two. So why am I making this video? What I want you to think about, as soon as you realize you have broken a needle, okay, the first thing to do is you obviously stop sewing. But before you even, you can, obviously there's a piece of the needle here. Sometimes the needle might come out, but often it breaks off, okay? So what can I do? I can go ahead and try to remove that. Not try, I'm going to remove it. That's one. My thumb screw is stuck because I haven't lubricated. See, I missed something on the lubrication. I'll go back and do that. So you can take the needle, what remains, carefully, just take it. You can remove that and make sure you've gotten all of that out, because you don't know how many places the needle has broken. But then don't stop there, okay? So notice what I've done here. Let's assume, right, that you had your bobbin case in. You're going to remove your bobbin case. Oops, come here. And you are going to, obviously you can see how the parts, as soon as I took these flippers off that hold the race cover on, everything wants to sort of get dislodged. But you're going to take the cover off, the race cover, and then you're going to come back and you're going to remove, in spite of the camera just showing my big hands and not the parts I'm trying to highlight here. So as you begin to take pieces apart, you want to inspect in this moment, okay? So again, I've taken the bobbin case, I've taken the race cover off, and now I've got my hook. You want to take all of this apart as a precaution, okay? And then notice I'm going to turn things again. What have I got here? That's just a little lint there underneath that escaped my cleaning there on the feed dogs. So what am I doing? I'm looking for any fragments of a needle, okay? And if you don't have, I've got some actually lovely natural light here in the late afternoon, but if you don't, get yourself a strong flashlight, okay? And come in there and start looking. Once you know your machine, you'll normally see the needle. Now, sometimes it could be down here in the, it could be, if you have a carry case and your machine is sitting in the tray, it'll often, fall down into the tray. Or you may also, let's say you have it in a table, it could be caught in the little, there's often, with sewing tables, there's a little, many of the sewing tables will have like a masonite panel that's there to catch dust or oil or whatever, but sometimes they don't. But either way, look there for the remnant, and then look on the floor. It may have fallen onto the floor. When a needle breaks, you can't really tell exactly where those fragments are going to go. But then, as you are inspecting your machine, don't just inspect it from one angle. Okay, come around. Just pretend this is this is you, and you're coming around your machine, or I'm not going to spin this around because I have it set up for tilting on its back there. But then take your flashlight, look inside. Sometimes a needle fragment is light enough it can actually stick to if you have any grease or excess oil anywhere. So again, you really want to take your time, just methodically go around and look to see, right? Did it fall? Or if you tilted it back, maybe it's maybe your needle fragment is now laying down here because this guy on YouTube told you to tilt. He had his machine tilted back. The point is, take your time and make sure, and this is especially true not only of the shuttle area that I just showed you, but behind it, okay, and then down below. Remember, there are lots of moving parts here, right? We have lots of things that are moving, and they have they're very closely spaced, and you want to make sure that your needle, what remains of it, has not lodged itself in a place that you don't want it. And the reason for this is not just because it can sometimes literally stop your sewing machine in its tracks. Sometimes, if you're not careful, that needle fragment can damage other parts. The last thing you want is to have any of these parts of your machine, including those in the bobbin case area, you don't want those damaged. So again, a broken needle, many times, hey, it's, okay, so the needle broke, you see it. If it broke in 2 pieces, you see the piece, you carefully put them in a safe way to dispose of them. And again, you remove once you've actually, this is really, that's so surprising. This needle has been here a long time. How do I know? Because the thumb screw for the needle clamp, it is so tight. I'm just going to put some of my valve oil and I'll let it soak like I did the rest of the machine. I'll come back to it tomorrow and get it loosened. But the main point of this is to say, whenever a needle breaks, even if you've had, let's say you've been sewing for 30 years and you've had needles break, yeah, it breaks, you pick it up, you dispose of it. Never assume that a broken needle fragment will not decide to find its way into the mechanical workings of your machine. This can happen to any machine, new or vintage, but just don't take the chance. It took me, how long did it take me to go underneath and just check, make sure that nothing is sitting anywhere in your machine, right? No, any of these moving parts, because you don't want to damage those. And a needle is made from, good quality needles are made from pretty strong steel. And that old saying, that old expression, having a wrench thrown into the works. Well, this is the last thing you ever want in the mechanical drivetrain of your sewing machine, is a piece of broken needle or any needles. So I thought this might be something. I was looking at it, I realized I had the broken needle. I thought, well, I can't remember if I've done a video for any of you on what do you do when you break a needle. Again, broken needles are not uncommon, especially, again, if you've been using a needle too long, it becomes dull. Dull needles are like dull kitchen knives. They're not really useful. Needles are put under stress, and over long periods of time, they can weaken. And like I said, if you've pushed too hard on a fabric, sometimes the needle will break. And that happens. That can be part of sewing. What you don't want is a broken machine. So, and if you want to prevent this, sometimes you can, if you know you're going to sew heavy fabrics, you can use what we call a jeans needle. They're home sewing needles, but they're extra, think of it as an extra heavy duty. They're reinforced, and they're made to work with heavy fabrics. You can also break them as well, right? It's not like there's a needle that is completely guaranteed to never break, but it can give you a little extra buffer against broken needles, which none of us want. But my main purpose for this today is to help you avoid having a broken machine because you had a broken needle. Well, everyone, I appreciate your support of this channel, and many of you following along on this latest lovely 1960s white sewing machine. I have restored many of them, and I'm sure I will again because I just absolutely love them, as you can probably tell. Thank you all for watching and supporting this channel, and I will see you all next time.